So I have a little project here of mine, and I want to test these machines. I have the Deus with the 9-inch HF and the Deus with the 11-inch X35 coil. The Equinox with the 6-inch. I don't have the Equinox 11-inch because it busted on me the other day, so I'll have to just use the smaller coil. And I have the Anfibio here, and I have the updated Anfibio, and I actually updated this 3 times to get it right. You know, I actually got it right the first time, the second time, and the third time. But somebody said on my channel, just use the 9-inch. It's working really good for me. I've tried this same test with the 5-inch, the 7-inch, 5x9, and now the 9-inch. And it's doing the same thing as it was doing before. So I'm gonna have 3 videos, one with the Anfibio, one with the Equinox, and one with the Deus on these exact same tests, right? On this same exact scenario here. So I have a large honking gold ring, a silver quarter, a large copper coin, a $1 Eisenhower coin, and a smaller gold ring, and a Morgan dollar. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the Morgan dollar in. I'll try to get the Morgan dollar in. But when you're over this much iron, right, the gain really doesn't really have a lot to do. It's really actually insignificant when you're in this big of iron here, right? And I'll explain this here. The sensitivity or gain, whatever you want to call it, it's not making that iron go away, right? Whatever you do, you cannot make the processor in that detector not see that iron right there, right? And if you try to reject that iron right there, you will never hit anything in between that subject right there, right? This in between here, you will never hit it, right? With pretty much any machine, right? Some machines struggle, some machines do very, very well on this target here. So if you drop your gain down to like in the 20s or really low gain, that detector, that coil is still being overwhelmed by all this iron right here, no matter what gain you have, right? That's why I run my machines as high as I can, because it has really no significance dropping your gain down, right? Because that iron is so close to this target here, this target area. I'm going to be putting different targets in there. So what I'll do is I'll even the playing field out here, right? I'll take these other subjects down here, and I'm going to even the playing field out on all these machines here, and I'm going to try to dial it in to be able to hit each one of these targets in the same mode, right? In the same mode, right? That would be awesome if you had a stock machine that hit on all these targets in this iron here. Is it going to be a surprise which metal detector is going to be able to do that? Right? Stock mode, a stock program in a machine can hit gold and silver, big coins, small gold in a stock program. Just turn it on. You don't have to know anything about the machine, right? With the Equinox and the Anfibio, you really have to know which mode, what settings you want to really have, and really the Anfibio really doesn't have a lot of settings to adjust, but it's a lot harder to adjust the settings on the Anfibio, because I'll show you what it does. It overloads on that iron really easy. The Anfibio is a deep seeking machine, and when I hit iron, you know, I can drop my gain down, and that basically makes it so it's not overloading so easy on the iron, but it's still being overloaded by the iron, right? I'll show you that right here. This is the updated version of the Anfibio, and I have set one thing, one setting here. I've boosted my, lifted my gain up from 70 stock gain. Actually, I'll just, how about this? I'll factory default this machine right now, right? No messing around. Stock program, right? 3-tone stock program, right? Okay, it turns the brightness on. I don't want the brightness on. And I'll go over to the volume level, and see if it's, yeah, still the updated version, right? SO, S1, S2, right? I'll put on S2 right here. Stock 3-tone program. I'll just go to 3-tone here. 3-tone program right here, right? There's no reason to be in a deep mode on this test, right? If you're in a deep mode, it's going to overload on the iron really bad, right? Stock program, right? Overload an inch and away, an inch and a half away from that target there. It's overloading already. So what I do is I just drop the gain down so it's not overloading anymore, right? Overload, right? Overload. And I've tried this with all my coils. I've tried this with 5 different coils. The same exact test on the Anfibio does the same thing, right? Now I'll go down to the new updated version S0. Actually, that was at S0. This is at S2. Right. So there's nothing I can do, right? There's nothing I can do to hit on that coin right there, right? It just won't do it. Just won't do it. I'll put this big copper coin in there, right? Listen to it, right? I'll put it in between the iron right there with the same settings. Right? Right? Still overloading on the big iron there, right? Right? See how it's crackling and popping, right? It's just on the verge of overloading right now. I'll crank it up here. And actually, what I'll do right now is I'll put it in 4-tone. I'll show you what it does, right? Right? It's just going to overload, right? So I have to drop the gain down, and then when I'm dropping the gain down on this machine, when I drop the gain down, my recovery speed goes down to 0, right? So I have to swing really, really slow, but it's still going to overload when I drop the gain down. Watch this. See, watch. That's on a huge copper coin right there, right? I'm going to drop the gain down here. There's no reason to go deep in this amount of iron, right? Oh, it hit on it for a second there. Oh, I'm going to crank it up a little bit more here. See if I can hit it once there. No, it's just overloading, right? Have to dial it in just a little bit. 38. Nope. It's trying. It's trying. But with this machine stock, you know, having the iron volume jacked all the way up like that, and not being able to adjust the recovery speed is a huge thing with this machine right here. I'll put this big gold ring in here, right? Banging gold ring right there. 1.5 inches. It's banging that big gold ring pretty good, right? Now I'll go up to 20 kilohertz and watch this. Put that small gold ring in there. See, I can't lift my gain up because it's going to overload on that target again, right? It's very difficult to pinpoint that target. It just wasn't doing very good on there, right? What I want is just one setting that'll do it all, right? Right? Not going to do it. Not going to do it, right? I'll show you on these other videos here, right? On these next videos here, right? It's a night and day comparison, man. I pretty much only show videos of conclusive results, right? And these conclusive results are pretty surprising, right? How good the Deus is in iron. And, you know, the Equinox, it struggles way less than the Anfibio in iron. And it struggles way less than the Anfibio on in a lot of situations. But when it comes to Deus and iron, there's just really no comparison at this point in time, right? Who knows what's going to happen with that Deus 2 when it arrives, right? I've seen some conclusive results on video, and if you see some conclusive results on video, think what it's going to do out in the field on some tests, you know, like in iron and some separation tests and whatnot. You know, my lab better step up to the plate here, and so this net legend better be pretty good to really match what the other competitors have. And you know, Garrett, you know, Garrett spends a lot of money on advertising, so you know, where are these manufacturers putting their money into? What have they been dumping their resources and their budgets into? Have they been dumping their money into machines that they've had out for years? Or are they dumping their money into advertising? Or have they been dumping their money into making very good quality machines, durable machines? Or have they been being really sneaky behind the lines, behind the public's eye, behind our eyes, you know, hiding secretly, developing and engineering and researching metal detectors and frequencies and what they do, right? Just because a manufacturer or a machine is not out there that's multi-frequency and all this stuff, doesn't mean that they haven't been hiding in secret, developing and improving the multi-frequency technology, right? And that's what Deus has been doing. They've been secretly doing this for years, right? Look how many machines XP has put out in the last 10 years. Their last great machine was the Deus 13 years ago, and guys still use this machine. And it's the best machine in the iron, period. Hands down, it's the best machine I've ever used in the iron. Not very great at depth, because you gotta learn how to go deep with any machine. But what are the other manufacturers working on? You know, how many machines have they put out in the last few years? Let's take Nokta, Macro. How many machines have they developed? And how many machines, how many engineers do they have? How big of a research team do they have? How big of a development team do they have? What have they been spending all their efforts? What have they been doing with the future? If they have all their engineers working on these machines that they're working on right now, that's all they're concentrated on, is the stuff that they're working on right now. XP has been working on the Deus 2 for many, many years, right? There's a reason for that, because they're not sidetracked by all these other machines they're putting out, right? And those developers or those engineers have to work on those machines that they still have out, so they can update them and, you know, make them better machines. Look at the Deus. The Deus has been out for 13 years, right? What has XP been working on? The Deus 2, right? They haven't really had any machines come out, right? They haven't been spending all that effort and concentrating on all these different machines they've been putting out on the market, right? Look at Garrett. What have they been working on? I don't know. They have a lot of effort put into advertising. I know that, right? Look at Fisher. What have they put out in the last few years? But what's coming from them? What's coming from them next? Fisher's going to have a really good machine come out here really soon, because to compete in this industry, you still have to be producing great machines, right? To stay in the market, to have your doors stay open, right? And with this legend coming out, it's going to be a doozy. It's going to be a doozy. We all know what the Deus is all about. You know, the Deus 2. We've seen the videos. But really, how is a Note the Legend going to compare to their other machines that they have in their lineup right now? What's going to happen with the Anfibio when everybody wants to buy these Note the Legends? The Anfibio will probably be discontinued, most likely, right? Probably most of their machines will be discontinued. Most of their VLF machines will be discontinued right off the bat, right after Note starts shipping these, and people won't really want to buy the Note Legends. All those other machines, they will not sell any of those machines, man, because the Note Legend is going to be that good, right? The Simplex will stay good for a long time because it's an entry-level bang machine. That thing is a top performer. In my eyes, is a top performer. The reason why I'm not testing the Simplex on this test right here, because it just failed, right? Just didn't do it, right? I only wanted to show machines that can actually hit at least one of these targets. The Simplex, it didn't hit any of them, right? The Simplex just doesn't have those, you know, the recovery speed and the iron volumes, and it just doesn't have it all, right? You can bang on coins and high conductors, deep high conductors, but when it comes to these gold rings here, and being around that big iron right there, it just overwhelms the Simplex because it's such a deep-seeking machine. It's a powerful machine, right? I can't say much about that with the Deus. The Deus is not a super powerful machine. You have disadvantages and advantages to different features of machines, or a machine that'll go deep. Usually a machine that goes really deep, it's not really great at separation, and a machine that has really great separation usually doesn't go pretty deep, right? It's just give and take, right? There's advantages and disadvantages to using certain detectors in certain places. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.